Hello everyone, I hope that you're having a great day, and this video is about how to never ever ask a stupid question in CS computer science again. The premise of this video: for some reason, stupid questions is something that's a part of like the tech community and culture. Like, for example, in high school, a stupid question was something like,
"Okay, class, the capital of California is Sacramento."
And then you got that one kid who was like,
"Hey, so what's the capital of California?"
And then the whole class sighs just because like the teacher just explained it. You know what I'm saying? But you could go into computer science in college like what I did, and a teacher could explain the difference between what do I want to use an example? Okay, between like static and instance methods, right? And then you could raise your hand and be like, oh, like, what does static mean? And then you hear maybe someone chuckle over there, you hear people mumble under their breath over there, and you're like, hey, how is this a dumb question? Like, the teacher never clearly explained it. And I feel like in tech and in computer science, people consider dumb questions something that they know. And I feel like that's so off. Or things they think you should have known, even though they learned to program when they were 5, so that's why they know it now. So this is how you will never ever ask a stupid question again. It's all about how you word the question. So like the secret formula is, I know this and I know that. However, I'm confused about this. Can you please explain this? So, for example, like back in high school, when I didn't know something, I'd open up a textbook. So if it was history, open up a history book. If it was biology, science, English, a vocabulary test, like who remember those? You would just open up a book. And except Spanish was a little different, I'll come back to that, but you can just open up a book and learn. However, when you start learning computer science, you know, sometimes teachers will have books, but it's like it's recommended. You know, certain classes won't even have textbooks. And for me, that was so weird in the beginning. But basically, it comes down to the way you learn computer science is different. And Google will be your best friend. And I know that sounds weird to some people because back in high school, when you would Google questions, that's considered cheating. But it's not. So, okay, back to how to never ask a stupid question. There's basically a formula that you should follow. So first, what I want you to do is I want you to open up Google, and what you're going to do is you're going to type in the question you have. So let's do the static versus instance methods example. Put in Google.
What is the difference between static and instance methods?
Then after that, what I want you to do is to put on a timer. You're going to put on a 1-hour timer. And I want you guys to look at 4 different kind of like resources to learn the question that you had. So for example, one of the resources I like to look at first is a video. Just because I'm a visual learner, I like to see someone, hear something. So that's the first resource that I look at. And trust me, when you type in what is the difference between static and instance methods, or anything really computer science-y, a YouTube video will pop up. So you can look at the different times of the different videos, and then you can select what's best for you. So that's the first resource that I want you to look at. The second resource I would say is, okay, so this is going to seem very controversial maybe, but I'll actually say to look at Stack Overflow just because people have a lot of good responses. And what I really like about Stack Overflow too is the format. You can see that someone asks a question, and usually it will be a question that's similar to your question. You can see some code, you see the written explanation, then you also see some code. The next resource I want you to look at is maybe like a blog, or it could be something more informal, you know, something where the language isn't too hard to understand. And then the fourth and the final resource I want you to look at is the documentation. And I know it might seem weird for some people for me to say look at the documentation last, but for me, like, when I was learning CS, what I would do is what I did in high school. I'll open up all these computer science books and I'll try to read it, and I'll just circle the whole page because they'll use words on top of words on top of words that I didn't understand. So instead, once you have all these little information from these different resources, I want you to look at the documentation, which is written by people who either like wrote the language or know a lot about the language, and I want you to see how they explain it and see what you pick up from that. So then after the hour is up, and it's okay if you didn't get to certain parts, but by the time the hour is up, make sure you at least get to the documentation and spend a good 10 minutes reading that. So then after all of this, you will have grasped some stuff about the topic. So even if it's something like,
My understanding, static means it's from the same class. However, instance means you got it from somewhere separate. So I know you have to call these different methods differently in your code. However, I feel like I'm still not understanding the main difference between static and instance.
okay, once you phrase a question like this, it shows a number of things. First off, it shows that you tried. It shows that you have tried to learn the topic. It has shown that you have done research. And at the third thing it shows is that you know something about the topic. So once you show this, people will not think you have a dumb question. And trust me, I've been using this formula. I talk to my friends about it. They use it. And it makes people think you actually have really great questions just because they're more specific. And it will be harder to Google that last question you asked. And then after they explain to you like the question that you had, I want you to really immerse yourself in it. So I want you to go find a rubber ducky. And basically a rubber duck is someone that can know no code, but you just talk to about code related stuff. So for example, my rubber duck is my sister, it's my best friend, it's my mom. And I'll just try to like explain what I know so far, just so you're talking about it. Then what else I want you to do is I want you to just open up a notepad and just create a static method, create an instance method, just like try to create the question you had. I want you to go talk to a tutor, go talk to a professor, like just really say, oh, like I think my definition is this. Is there any holes in my logic? And trust me, if you keep doing this and like immersing yourself in this, you're gonna learn it way faster. Like for example, when I was learning Spanish, or like when people are learning Spanish in the classroom, they could take Spanish for 10 years and come out and forget all the Spanish or not know a drop of Spanish. However, when you hear about people who study abroad and like they go to different places and they really immerse themselves in the language, and, coding is a programming language. They know it way better. They know all the shortcuts, the tricks, the slang, like what people use on an everyday basis. And it's just really about immersing yourself in it. So yeah, I hope this helps someone, how you can never ever ask a dumb question. And if you do all of that, you show you're trying, you say, this and that, but not that, and someone still laughs or chuckles, honestly, just listen to the explanation, but don't ask them a question again, because that's just toxic. And I personally have gotten help from people that were just toxic, and it does not help your learning situation at all. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.